Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. In today's Ink It Up tutorial, I'm going to do some unboxing of my new inks and explain the difference between the old style and the new style, explain why I got these new style ones, how to store them, how to label them. I'll talk about color families, and I'm going to answer a few questions from my viewers. Okay, those questions are, I'm just going to say them now, is I get ink all over my hands when I'm handling these inks. What am I doing wrong? So I think it has to do with how you're opening the ink pad. So I'll be showing you how to open. And I will even do a little stamping to show you how to use the ink so it doesn't get all over your hands. Okay, that was one question. Another question is, can I use, the question something about the reinkers. They said, can I use the old reinkers on the new stamp pads? So we'll answer, can you use the old reinkers on the new stamp pads? Okay, and then also I get asked all the time, how do I store my inks and how do I do things like that? So I'm just going to kind of go over this is just sort of basics about what to do with your ink. Now I put this here. Hi Mara. Okay, I put this here, this one. Now I don't have a great view on the camera, but you can see this. This is Stampin storage, okay? This here. So I'm showing you how I store my ink colors. We'll just keep that there. And what we will do is we will build this little storage unit up. I've been working on this all year. In fact, it's December, middle of December, and I just reached the goal of having all the inks. And it's taken me probably 2 years, but I've been working on this all year. And the reason I bought them in a 10-pack, and I'll answer a couple other questions about that. I get asked about how I purchase my inks and do I get reinkers? There's just so many questions that I get asked, and I thought I really need to get back to basics, especially because I'm just being asked by my team members. All right, so let's start with this. I'm going to start with this. This is the catalog. This is the annual catalog. And what we have is here in our annual catalog are color families or color collections. So in our color collections, there are, let me make sure I get my light here and that you can see everything. Okay, good. We have 10 brights, 10 neutrals, and that's the last collection I was purchasing. 10 regals. Okay, 10 regals. 10 subtles. And then we have our basics, like basic black, very vanilla. And now we're going to be calling this Whisper White, basic white. And we have our 10 in color collection. 10 in colors. Okay, so that's 10, 20, 30, 40. That's 50 current inks plus these three. Because you actually can buy this. You can buy the Whisper White. Then we have other variations, like we have different colors in the blends, like bronze and ivory, even though the blends don't have an ink pad to go with them. That's what this dash means, but they have a marker. So we have in our color collections, when you see stamp pads, we have stamp pads, we have markers, Stampin' Right markers. They're made of the same exact material. I mean, the same exact ink. The dye-based, water-based ink, dye-based ink. And then we have what's called our blends, okay? And these are blends. And these are alcohol markers. But they are the same color formulas, meaning they're going to match your colors from Stampin' Up. Okay, those are the 3 ways you can get the colors. And then, of course, you can get a reinker. So this would be a reinker made of the same. This reinker is to reink this. It's not to reink your alcohol marker, although you can. I haven't had success, but I mean you can. Okay, you can do that too. All right, so now let's get to it. Let me also show you the storage I'll be referring to, so then I can get rid of this catalog. Not get rid of it, but put it away so I have some room on my table. So here's a Stampin' storage system. I've been working on this for about 2 years now. So don't be discouraged if you only have, like, say 5. Maybe you only have this little one you start out with. I've just been adding it to my orders little by little. I mean, really, the reason I didn't get it all at once is I didn't have anything to put in it. I was storing my inks in baskets. So then as I started building the collections, I started putting them in there. But I actually don't store it like in this picture, how they store it by color collections, like the subtles, the brights. What I store it by is I go by color. Like, so saffron's at the bottom of my pile, right? And then I go into Daffodil Delight, and I work my way up the yellows, oranges, yellow, like the rainbow. But I keep my color collections for the in colors separate. Because, like, this is an in-color collection. I don't put this bumblebee with my yellows because I had already had, well, I might later, but right now it's because I already store those in color collections. Okay, here's our storage system. You can get these ink pad and marker storage trays, which I'm going to show you. We'll use this one. You can get the ones for the blends. You can get storage lids. I don't use the lids because mine are never closed, but I use what's called toppers, and this is a topper. And you can get open cubes. I have open cubes where I put ribbons. Okay, so this is all in my catalog. The link is in the description of this video. There's my website. So you can start to build that. That might be one of your New Year's resolutions. If you want to start building and storing your ink, this is a topper. Topper is where you keep your extra refills. And I've been buying refills just lately. I never really bought reinkers, but now I started buying reinkers, and I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain that answer to that question too. Why I was saying I was never getting reinkers, but then after a while, there were all these other things you could do with reinkers, like dyeing your ribbon and all this other stuff, and dyeing your embossing paste, and dyeing all kinds of stuff. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to start getting reinkers. Hi, Stella. All right, so for a while now, and I still love these. This is my neutral collection. I bought the neutral collection years ago. For a while now, I've been using this crumb cake and early espresso, basic gray, smoky slate. Okay, these are my neutrals. I really love these. I love these, but there's a couple reasons I upgraded to the new ones. These don't fit in the storage system that I've set up. See? Watch. When I put them in there, the old style, they pop right open. You could tape the sides and rig it, but who wants to do all that, right? I didn't want to do all that. Okay. Also, I like these for a different purpose. I like these for sponge coloring. I'll show you a little bit of that maybe if I have time. Do some sponge coloring. I like how these are, see? These, well, that one doesn't have it. Some of these are felt. Wait, I guess these aren't the felt ones. No, these are kind of like the same material as the new ones. But I really like the fact that I was able to squeeze these old style, put some ink on the lid, and do some sponge coloring with the ink on the lid. Let me squeeze a little better so you can see that. See, I was able to do this. And now I have a different way of doing that. So I'm going to show you that, what you have to do with the new ink style. Okay? So, and another reason is, okay, there's many, many reasons I upgraded. It's one, I'm teaching a lot more basics right now because I'm getting asked a lot more. That's why you might see a lot more live videos from me. I just kind of did some assuming that some people knew basics, and I wasn't, and it was not a good assumption because I was getting more advanced, and some were still like, I can't even open my ink pad. And I was already talking about how to do, like, you know, blending with the alcohol markers, and I was jumping ahead of things. So I'm going to be doing some more basic things, so I thought this would be good to get some more ink so people can see exactly what I'm using and be able to follow along and get the same inks I have. And also, what happened is, there's a few other reasons I upgraded. I didn't have the reinkers, I just haven't been buying them. So what happened is these started getting dried out from a few years ago. I've had these ones. And then I had to start buying reinkers, and reinkers are like $3.75. But the stamp pad itself is only $7.50. And I'm like, so why am I, if I'm going to just get a reinker all the time, why don't I just get new ink pads? So I got new ink pads. And then the third reason is, what was really cool is I had enough on my pre-order to get a half price item. And get this. This is normally $67.50 for these 10 inks because it's a good deal to buy them as a bundle, right? I'm going to show you the neutral collection. But so I was able to get, I had such a big order in my pre-order for my new catalog that I was able to get these 10 inks for 50% off. Yes, I'm singing in the rooftops. $37.50. So I was able to get 10 inks, $37.75. Let me try to do the math. $37.75. But at the same time, I already had some of these. So I didn't need the entire 10, but I was like, they're half price. So here, for example, I already have Night and Navy in this style. So I'm not going to open this one right now because I already have it in this style. I had already purchased it separately. Okay. The other, and I'm not sure which other ones I have. Gray Granite. I already have Gray Granite, I believe. So those, oh, let me just show you the collection before I move some to the side and not open them. So bottom line is, I now have every one of the inks, and I'm very happy. I'll try to take a picture, a snapshot for my Facebook page of all of them once I put them together. So in the neutrals collection, we have Basic Gray, Early Espresso, Crumb Cake. Definitely opening Crumb Cake right now because I use that ink the most of all the inks. Smoky Slate, Merry Merlot, Mossy Meadow. Now I already have this in the other style. In this style. Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, which just makes me have more prizes. That's okay. Sahara Sand, Soft Suede, and Gray Granite. And Gray Granite I also have. Okay, so I already have that one. So we're going to put that one. That'll be a prize for later. Put these here. I already have Night of Navy. I already have Mossy Meadow. And I believe I have Mary Merlot. So out of these, but still, I couldn't resist the price. And especially because I didn't need another half-price item. So I was like, that was a perfect half-price item for me to pick. So we will start with crumb cake. What we are going to do when you first get an ink is you're going to use your little snips and get the plastic off. Okay, and then you're going to open it up just to check it out. Make sure it opens, okay? Push this button like that, not button, push this. It's very hard at the beginning, but it does get easier. See how hard that is to open? But it does get easier. And see, I already got ink on myself, but that's okay. Get a little baby wipe, and I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to do that. Now, over time, and some use wax paper, rub a little wax paper in there. Over time, they do get a little bit easier to open and close. I'm just going to go ahead and close it while I get the label off for a moment. See, it'll get easier. Just keep doing that. All right, so what I want to do is take the label off, the crumb cake label. Some people store them in the front of their ink pads, like this. Not in the front, but they put them like here so they can see them on the shelf. But I don't need to see them. I see the marker. Sorry, can you set? The marker lets me know what color it is. I'd rather know the color on the inside. I wish they'd have given us 2 labels in English, because if they'd given me 2, then I could have. I'm going to use my take your pick tool, by the way. If they'd given me 2 labels in English, I could have put one on the front of the ink pad over here, and I could have put one on the inside. The take your pick tool has a pointy side and a little spatula. I'm going to use the little spatula. Well, actually, you can use the pointy side to get it. You can use the pointy side to get it off, and then use the little spatula. So we will use the spatula to put the label in the inside. But to get it off, you can do that. You can like lift it with the. You can like lift it up with the pointy side and then use your spatula. Bottom line is you want it to stick to your spatula like this. And then you have this label, crumb cake, see? And then you want to open it up. Pushing this front, and it is tight. It is tight. And I'm going to turn it toward me like this. Whoops. I'm going to turn it toward me like that, and I'm going to put the label on the inside like here. Only so I can see it. So I'd rather be able to see when I'm crafting. Let me just get my little, I'm just going to get my brother's scan and cut spatula too to hold it, to get it to stay, to get it to go in that little pocket. Go in there. That's why I'm going to do a couple of these to give you different angles so you can really see it. Because I'm doing them anyway. I'm labeling my inks. That's what this is about. Like I wanted to open my inks and start using them, but I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do an ink it up. There we go. See? And I'm using this little spatula to get it to. So now when I have my inks open and I'm doing tutorials, which I'll be doing a lot more basic things, you can actually see what color I'm using. And I don't have to keep saying it throughout the video, like what I'm using, because you can see the color label right there. Okay, but you can't push on these like you can with the old style and get the ink to go in the lid, right? It doesn't work. They're really stiff. So therefore I have a different way when I do my sponging. Okay, we'll store them in a minute. Let's do another one. Let's do a basic gray, because I already got some ink on that packaging. Okay, open up the plastic. Okay, again, I just do that first. And it does, just to make sure I get it loosened and working before I try to do it with that one's a lot easier. Way easier. See that? That's what you want anyway. Way easier. It opens up. Okay, so then you're going to turn it around. We'll put this one over here. You have 5. Good. Which 5 do you have? 5? You mean 5 colors? I'm going to take the little take your pick tool. Oops. Wrong side. That was the wrong side. This is the take your pick tool's pointy side. I'm going to lift up the little, lift it up. I'm going to turn this around to get the spatula side. Oops. Don't go down on me. Don't. There it goes. And then I get it. Hold it up. And while that's on there, flip it back open. Get my other spatula to sort of hold it so it doesn't go flying all over the place. Okay, so it's in there. Pretty good. Pretty good. And then I have the basic gray in there. So now I can see it. See, because if you're just looking at the ink pads, they all look the same. So it's kind of easier when you label them. All right, so that's good. Now we got the idea. Now I'm gonna talk about the putting them in this little storage thing. So I'm gonna get my Stampin' Right markers, which I believe are retired now. I believe we're not going to be selling this really awesome package anymore. But it's okay for me because I took them all out of mine and I only needed one. I guess the market got saturated. Maybe there wasn't enough people buying these new whole collections. They were buying them separately. Maybe because we sell these markers in 10 packs. It's not that we're not selling markers anymore. It's just that we're not selling them in the whole collection anymore. We're selling them in 10 packs. So I'm just going to, you know, this is good for storage still. I might put that in one of my BOGO sales. You know, like where you buy something, get something. Okay, so because I don't need that anymore. Okay, crumb cake. Okay, so what I would do is let's get the storage unit. I've already opened it up. It came packaged really well, so it's not going to crack. Put some styrofoam around it. Put that there. So I would just put these all in there. So like I would do it by the color. So I'd go Sahara Sand, right? Crumb cake. Slip the marker in there. See? And that's it. That's how easy it is. And I would do it in the order. I would do like the dark at the bottom. That was early espresso. I would go from dark to light, putting my browns together. Is that the latest? Yeah, Sahara Sand's the latest. Early espresso. And then I would put, that would be crumb cake would be brown, and then that one. I would do it like that. And after browns, I would do grays. Okay? So something like that. That's how you store everything. And then you put the next one. We'll do here smoky slate. So it holds 5, and then they just keep stacking. You come up with another stack like that, and you just stack them on top. I don't have the greatest camera view, but you get the idea. They snap right into place. They don't snap great. You gotta have to have them on a stable shelf. Unless if you really want them to stay put, I would probably put tape down the side or something on the back. You know, if you have a place that's going to be shaking, but I have mine on a stable shelf, so they all stack. Okay, now let me just pull these back off and show you the little topper so you can get a better view. Let me pull this whole stack of ink color ones. All right, so now the little topper. They come in a box. This is my last little topper I'm going to need for a while because I only have 3 big stacks. I don't have a place to put another topper because mine are stacked really high on my shelf, trying not to block my light switch, because every time I turn on and off the light in my craft room, I end up shaking the whole pile, and then inevitably a marker falls out. All right, so this is, because I have them near the door of my craft room. So there's the topper. Stampin' Up logo goes in the front. Put the little topper on there so it looks nice and neat. So I think this is way more useful. I wouldn't even bother getting one of the plain toppers. They're called lids. I wouldn't even bother with the lids. I would say don't get lids because you get these topper because they're more useful. Because now you can put your Reinkers right in there. So they store right in the topper. That's way more useful. And as you can see, I also store my toppers and extra. These are from Paper Pumpkin Kits. So like this is Misty Moonlight, but because it's a Misty Moonlight Stampin' Spot, it goes along with this ink colors. That's why I put it in this topper. I put the Reinkers for the inks underneath it in the topper. And then same with the sponges. I just put this there as an example. I've been meaning to label the colors on my sponge daubers. So whatever colors I used, I put those in the topper as well. Okay, now let's open some Whisper White cardstock, which is going away. It's going to be, we're going to have basic white soon, meaning the factory or the mill or whatever. I'm not sure if it's a factory or a paper mill is no longer able to make this for us based on their supplier or based on their formula. I don't know. But we are not going to have Whisper White anymore. We already ran out of the thick Whisper White when we told our customers this. If you really like it, get it while you can. But we're going to have basic white, which should be awesome. We still have this kind of Whisper White. It's not the thick one. This is the one I prefer. This is 42 a pack Whisper White. This is thinner because I use it for stamping and for card layers and matting and layers. So that is some Whisper White. So what we're going to do now, we've talked about opening up ink. We've talked about labeling it. We talked about storing it. Now, I'll just talk a little bit about re-inking it because I'm going to keep my old ones. Okay, so, and I'm going to talk about sponge coloring. So this is the old style. Where's our new crumb cake? We don't have to re-ink the new crumb cake yet. This is the crumb cake, right? Because we just got it. I'm going to put that there. But this one's probably pretty dry. So let's just try to stamp hello and see what happens here. Yeah, this one is pretty dry. Right? But see, look how, and this one's too juicy. That to me is too juicy. But it is juicy. It doesn't need to be re-inked. Okay, so this one, you re-ink them the same way, whether it's an old style or new style. But I'm going to answer the question right now about I'm going to answer the question I was asked about, can I use, this is called Stampin' ink. This is classic Stampin' ink. And I was asked, can I use the older re-inkers on the new pads? And you can't. But you can use the new, this is the new ink. Okay, I'm just going to show you. This is the new ink, the ones you can buy now. Yes, you can use the new ink on the old pads. I'm about to do it right now to show you how to re-ink. You can use the new ink on the old pads. And of course you can use the new ink on the new pads. Okay, so to re-ink your stamp pad, whether it's this kind or this kind, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what kind of stamp pad you're re-inking. I just do this little, I just go around like that, like a little S or something. I just put some dots around, that's all. Okay, I just put dots around. And then I take my little spatula. I just use my scan and cut spatula or a plastic spoon. And I just rub it around like that. Okay, and this one didn't really look like it even coated the surface. It was so dry, so I'll do it again. Okay, we'll just do it again. That's how I re-ink. It's not rocket science, but that's how you do it. When it starts to get dry. When do you re-ink? When it starts to get dry. There's really no other time to do it. I do it every month or so. Or if you use it a lot. I'm saying most of the time I can go years. If I'm just using it for sponge coloring, I can go like a year. But if I'm using it for actual stamping, I might have to go every month or so. Like this Night in Navy, which we'll use in a minute. Something I use all the time. Okay, now let's try it. See if it worked. Usually I let it settle a little bit. Oops, too much ink. It's not even yet. Not even, Steven. So it needs to kind of settle because it's not even. Or I need to just put some more. Because it's not stamping evenly. Meaning the ink. I'm going to just do it again, a couple more drops. Do it as much as you want, but you want to get it so you get good results. Okay, I can kind of see it. You might not be able to see this, but it's evening out now inside there. The ink is sort of evening out on the pad and going around. You can actually see the color of it dark in the middle. And you can leave it dark in the middle and light on the outsides because you're going to pretty much be using the middle all the time. All right, now let's see if we can get it to be even. Better? Yep, good. I'm happy with that. I mean, see, it's stamping evenly. Nice and sharp and even. It's even darker than my new one. So it's really dark. All right, so I'm happy with that. So we re-inked it. So that answers that question. Now I'm going to show you the old. Oh, we'll leave that open for a minute. We're going to talk about sponge coloring. So the question I was asked was, can you use the old style ink on the new pads? No, you can't use the old style ink. This is an old style re-inker for Old Olive. Okay? This is the new ink. You can't use the old style on the new ink pad. The reason is our new inks have what's called anti-foaming agents. They have anti-foaming agents. They don't foam. I didn't know foaming was an issue, but they don't foam up. Anyway, so we have a new system. So you can't use this old ink on the new pad, but you can use the old ink in many other ways. So if you still have, it's the same formula. It's still Old Olive, same color formula. So I would use this Old Olive on my new ink pad, but I won't use it on. What you can use it on is you can use it on stamping spots. Because they're felt. You can use the blank. We sell unused or uninked stamping spots. You can use it on that. You can dye stamping powder with it. I mean stamping embossing paste. You can dye ribbons with it. You can fill your alcohol markers with it, with the old stuff. But you just can't use it on the new ink pads. All right. And now the question about getting all inky. So we'll do a little bit of sponge coloring and then we'll do a bit of regular stamping. Okay, so sponge coloring. I put it there just to show you that that's just where I would put it in the old style pad. And I'm going to grab one of the sponge brares that already have, this already has some of this crumb cake on it. So I'm just going to get this, I can just get it off the lid for the old style. See? And I can sponge color. Okay, which is cool. And it looks better on embossed folders, which I've done before. But that's how you do it. But on the new style, you can't just dip right into it, because way, way more ink will come out. So what you want to do is my stamping block trick. Okay? So if you're going to sponge color, see how much ink is on there? If you're going to sponge color with the new stamping pads, put it on a stamping block first. And then get it off onto the sponge. And then onto your paper. Because otherwise it'll be way too dark. And that's still dark. That's still dark. So you have to really, you would do it again. And it has a little bit of clumps in it. And that's brand new stamp pad. So it does have some clumps. See? But it's lighter if you do it some more. But it's just better to put it on a stamping block first. Okay? Now, let's get rid of the crumb cake, or let's put that off to the side. You see why I like my old crumb cake, because it's not as dark. So I use it a lot for sponging around the edges, using a sponge dauber, and I do a lot of antiquing with the crumb cake. So I really like that. All right, now I'm going to take this stamping block and I'm going to finish off a little project I'm working on. I'm going to use Snowflake Wishes. All right. May Your Season Sparkle. We want May Your Season Sparkle because I already tested that this one will work on the die cut I have. So here's what you do. You're going to put that onto your, so you take it out of your, this is a photopolymer stamp. Take it out of your case, put it onto a stamping block, mount it on there, look at it. Okay, good. Now you're going to, I'm going to use a Night of Navy for this one. Night of Navy. See how easy it was to open? This is one that I've had for a while. It does get easier to open. So we open it up like that. Now how do we keep from getting ink all over ourselves was the question. All right, there's two ways to keep from getting ink all over yourself. Okay, the first way is, this is what I always teach my students in craft club. Okay, the first way to keep from getting ink all over yourself is not to press hard. Because if you press hard, it's going to get all over this stamping block. But if you press light, see, tap, 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 it's not going to get all over the stamping block and you won't get ink all over yourself. Okay, so that's the one way. And I'm going to just put it on the paper. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Look at that. A nice, even image. And usually it takes you a couple tries to get it to be even. So, even stamping. Oops, now I messed it up. See? That's why I said it usually takes a couple tries. Tap, tap, tap. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Now that it's perfect and I know I have it inked up, now I can get what I'm actually stamping on. Never stamp to what you're actually stamping on right away. I mean, don't stamp on the thing you're actually stamping on right away because you'll mess up the first couple stamps and you'll be like, I got ink all over the place. So what I'm looking for are some little die cut shapes to use. And I believe, let's see, I know it fit on these bigger die cut shapes. So what I'm trying to do is make some little little boxes. I'll show you the project I'm working on. And I had them already out. Here we go. Here are the shapes that I already had out. And there's a little angel. So I'm making a little box. So let's put that on a piece of, just so you can see the background, because I don't want to put it on white. My table's a mess here. I'm going to put this on a piece of Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. So we're going to stamp these three. Never just do one stamp at once. Do all your die cutting, do all your stamping. Right? So I need to stamp these. I'm going to stamp May Your Season Sparkle. Again, holding both hands. Tap, tap, tap. Right? We already know we have good coverage. And I'm putting it on my die cut shape. And I'm pushing down and I'm holding for a few seconds. And I rock it just a tiny bit. I'm rocking it. Oops, that messed it up. I rocked it too much. Let's do it again. Tap, tap, tap. Don't rock it too much because you're going to get it to be fuzzy. But that's what the other side is for, right? Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we'll do it again. Tap, tap, tap. Press down, hold for a few seconds. Rock it just slightly. Not much because you don't want to get it to be fuzzy. Pretty good, but I think the word may could be a little better. I'm going to flip it over. It's not an embossed shape, so it really does. It's just embossed tiny bit, but you really can't tell, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now we'll do it again. And I got this little die cut shape from a die set called Hippo Happiness. I think they're called Hippo Happiness dies. It's in our annual catalog. And there were just a lot of good shapes in that set. I'm going to try not to rock this one, because I usually rock it a little bit, but I think I didn't rock this one and it came out the best. So don't rock it too much if it has too many words. The fewer words, the easier it is to rock it a little bit. I didn't need to rock it and it came out perfect. And it is a little bit embossed, so we're going to use this one for my box because it's perfect, and those two I'll use on cart. See? May your season sparkle. See how it has, I don't know if you can see that slight embossing around the edge. Okay, so that's how to stamp without getting it on yourself. Now, the other way to do it, when you have a big stamp, the other way to keep from getting ink all over yourself is this. Here's my other trick. So, oh, and thank you all for coming. I see more people came, like Anna, Frida, I already saw Yvonne earlier. And, oh yeah, a credit card. Yvonne had a good, she said use a credit card on your, to run it back and forth instead of a spatula. So that was a good tip. Use a credit card. And hello, Janet. Okay. So another way to keep from getting ink all over yourself is when you have a big stamp, you can turn your stamp pad over and do that. Tap, tap, tap. You'll definitely won't get ink all over your stamp pad. Okay? That's another way. Let's get another shape. Here, let me put, May Your Season Sparkle will fit on this one. This is also from the Hippo Happiness dies. I'm not sure if they're called Hippo Happiness dies, but that's the name. Something about the hippos. There's dies that go with that Hippo Happiness stamp set. Oh, perfect. I love it. All right, so then that's how to keep from getting ink all over yourself. Just it's how you press on the stamp pad. So when my students go in and, oh gosh, so funny, I can't even tell you. So I said they were doing something, and I said no. Oh, they had the stamp like upside down like that, and I said, oh, turn the stamp upside down, and I meant like this. They actually turned it like that, and they got like ink all over the side of the stamp pad, and there was like ink everywhere. It was just so funny. But they did it upside down. They flipped the whole stamp block upside down. I'm going to use Pacific Point, and I'm flipping it open. Pacific Point goes along with that, and I figured I'd just get a couple little snowflakes for the side there. Something that'll fit. Maybe this little one will fit here. You just try it out first. Or maybe this, no, you know what? You could use this one and just let it sort of, you just kind of stamp it off to the side. And one of my plastic stamps just fell on the floor somewhere. All right, there it is. To make sure I get that for later. All right, so what I'm going to do is reach for another stamping block that I should have cleaned off, but I haven't. New Happy Mail, Super Happy Mail stamp. I can't wait to use snail mail some more. That's a new stamp. Put that over there. Okay, I'm going to put some, so for this Pacific Point, I don't want it to be too dark on this May Your Season Sparkle. So what I'm going to do is tap, tap, tap. See, stamp on there and then stamp on here. So it's not too dark. Because if it's too dark, it's going to overpower. It would overpower your sentiment. Okay? So I'm going to do tap, 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 stamp onto my paper, and then stamp onto my sentiment. And you see I kind of flipped it around so that the snowflake was on that side this time. Oh, yeah, I think I flipped it around, but then it ended up on the same side. Okay, perfect. I love that. And then we can even do a little bit of that on this one. Get a little snowflakes off to the side here. Kind of would look nice. Maybe a little snowflake like that. Yep. Do it on that. And sometimes when you lift it up, it sticks to your stamping block, as you saw, and you just peel it off. All right, so while I'm at it, I just fix these three. Not fix them, but finish them. Stamping off. Stamping on. Wax on. Wax off. Okay, putting those up there so you can see what I'm doing. And this one you saw. And now I'm going to show you how it all comes together, the little project I'm working on. I got these new little boxes and I've gone crazy with them. I love these new little boxes I got. Perfect. And that's how you keep from getting ink all over yourself. It's just the way you touch in there. If you push down hard, then you're going to get ink all over the sides of the Stampin' block. And then you're going to get ink all over yourself. I mean, that's pretty much how every one of my students, like in Craft Club, does it. They always get it all over themselves first. So now I want to show you my little box. I made this little box. We're going to decorate it. And we're going to see if that one might work. Yep, it will work perfect. I originally set out to use one of these, but I actually like this one better. So here's a little trick for those of you that are demonstrators who can already get your hands on these boxes. The rest of you have to wait a little bit. We have these new boxes in the new catalog. They're called True Love because it's part of the True Love suite. True Love boxes? I forget. True Love slider boxes or gift boxes or treat boxes maybe. They're called True Love treat boxes. Okay? So what I thought would be fun, since it's wintertime, I thought I'm still sending out my packages. I'm kind of running behind. I'm sending out care packages. What I thought would be fun is if I give someone one that they can reuse. So check this out. So I came up with this idea of making this little sleeve. Now it's pretty tight. It doesn't look like it. It looks like I attached it to the box directly, but really what I did, my little trick is to make a little sleeve. So then they can use the box again for Valentine's Day or in the New Year, since Christmas is almost over. They can fill it with different kinds of treats. So I just made the little sleeve a little bit looser than so that it would stay on there. Okay, let me show you what's inside my box. Then I'll decorate that. We'll just finish decorating the box. I was going to put a couple of snowflakes on it. So snowflakes, I have a couple here. I mean, I don't have to do it right now. You don't have to wait for me to put the snowflakes on, but I just want to show you that I would do something like that. I'll take a picture. That's balmy blue glimmer paper. And then I would have a ribbon on it. And now I'll show you what's inside. Okay. Oh, and I have an angel too. I have a little silver angel. That's from Most Wonderful Time product medley. And then I'd put some little sequin snowflakes. That's what I'm going to do too. I'm going to put a few of these sequin snowflakes on it. That's how I'm going to decorate my box. That's my plan. Okay, when you open it up, it matches the paper, and it has Sweet Dreams. These are a little tea, some organic honey that matches too. I found these in a grocery store. I'll try to link to them though. And then Ghirardelli dark chocolate. I tried to put all the blue stuff that matched up on the top, like a lollipop. And then I have some silver Hershey Kisses. And then I had the gold peppermint bark because I wanted to put some Christmas stuff in there. Peppermint bark bell, some little shreddy that's silver, some Hershey Kisses. So that's what you can fit in one of these treat boxes. You can fit a lot in there. Demonstrators are already allowed to get these kind of boxes in your pre-order, but January 5th is when the rest of you can get these boxes. And they're just so amazing because they're really, really strong. And you can stamp them as well. I'll be stamping onto them. They ship flat. The other thing I came up with for this is I thought it'd be really nice to like give someone one of these too with the catalog, and they could put it together, and I could give them the sleeve. I could give them the sleeve to put on it, already scored, where they put it on together later, so it's just easier to ship this way. And I have a little tutorial about, I did that on one of my unboxings, is how to put these together. All right, I hope those tips were helpful in this Ink It Up tutorial. I hope you'll work on your ink collections, inking, storage, labeling, re-inking, and I hope that makes it easier for you. There's lots of things you can do once you get your inks all set up, including coloring, including sponge coloring. We have these new brushes. I haven't tried on the neutral colors yet. I mean, blending. These are called blending brushes. So you can do blending. You can do alcohol markers and color in stamped images, sponge coloring, inking and embossing folders. You can ink embossing paste. You can color ribbons. You can dye ribbons to the color of your project. You can dye glitter paper if you have white glitter paper like this, or white pearly paper like the one we just came out with. You can sponge color the paper. And you can sponge color flowers like the True Love Designer Series paper. You can sponge color the flowers. There's just so much you can do once you have your inks all set up and ready to go to use. So that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef, and we'll see you next time.